Welcome to the Biodiversity pitch session. ChangeNOW is the largest event for the planet, and today brings together change leaders to respond to the greatest challenges such as climate change, resources, and of course biodiversity. My name is Tatiana, and I will guide and moderate this session. I'm also one of those who believe that the biodiversity is the mandatory to preserve and improve the natural resources given to us. So it's my pleasure to announce Pierre Pajot, who is today with us from SOS Group and who will briefly introduce biodiversity topic for all of us. Welcome, Pierre, and you have a word.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. So, in a few words, my name is Pierre Pajot. I'm the CEO of one of the 9 business units of SOS Group called Ecological Transition. So basically, we operate projects that tackle in the same time ecological and social issues. It's like 1,000 people working in 17 different projects. For example, we operate one project called Wings of the Ocean, which is dedicated to the depollution of oceans, and another one called Mare de Viguera, which is in charge of the preservation of a national park of 1,500 hectares in Camargue. So, well, why preserving biodiversity is so important? To go directly to the point, I will quote Paul Watson. You know, Paul Watson is the founder of Sea Shepherd, and he says it in one sentence: if the ocean dies, we all die. And I think it's really important because biodiversity is important because at least if we are selfish, you know, as animals, as Homo sapiens, we need to preserve our environment to survive. We human, we are only 0.01% of the total mass of living things on Earth, and we have managed in a few decades to modify around 70% of ecosystem on Earth. And it's what we call, you know, Anthropocene epoch, and we have managed to change this world. We have unbalanced the brittle balance of Earth, and that jeopardize at least our survival, our economy, and the beauty around us. So I just would like to stress 3 main issues regarding biodiversity in order to bring back the balance. First, we have really to understand the complexity of these ecosystems. For now, we do not understand perfectly all the interactions between these ecosystems and among these ecosystems. Secondly, we do really have to reconnect, create empathy with other species and plants around the world. And third, I think we have to preserve, to protect as much as we can, as strong as we can, this ecosystem. And that's my conclusion. We need to rebalance the imbalance that we have created.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Thanks. It's really a call and warning for all of us to pay attention strongly on environment and preserve biodiversity for a future generation. Before we start with the pitch session, let me invite our jury members to briefly present themselves. So let's start with Claire from Rocher Group. Welcome, Claire. Please introduce yourself. Claire? Do we have Claire on board? If Claire is not maybe ready or plugged in, we can move with another member of the jury. This is Carolina Monaco from WipeC, if I pronounce it well. I hope Carol will correct me.
No, it's not an easy name. It stands for Quicker Money, where your meaning is community. And I've been working there now for 3 years. I have a law background, and I worked for 6 years with investments and mergers and acquisitions. And after that, joined WipeC, and I am the responsible for analyzing the companies under financial and impact perspectives. I'm thrilled to be working with impact-minded people and also to be here.
Thank you, Carolina. And now coming back, Pierre, to again to you. Tell us, you presented the topic, thank you for that, and just tell us about yourself a little bit, about background and challenges you are dealing with.
Yes, but in a few words, I will repeat a little bit that I told you before, but I'm the CEO of one of the 9 business unit of SOS groups called Ecological Transition. So basically, we operate, projects that tackle in the same time ecological and social issues, always the two together. And I'm working there for 9 years. And this is around 1,000 people working in 17 different projects. And really happy to be there with you today.
Thank you. It's really interesting and impressive. So let's move to Charles Antoine Morand. Hi, Charles.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So my name is Charles Antoine, and I'm working for Carrot Capital. Carrot Capital, what do we do? We're an early stage investment fund, and we've got three verticals regarding our investments. Deep tech, which we define as anything coming out of private or public labs. Health and consumer changes. And those three investment themes are crossed by a transversal movement, which is impact investing. In all three, health, deep tech, and consumer changing, in all three investment themes that we have, we will be looking at for each one of them how they have an impact on the future of our lives.
Thank you very much, Charles. Sandrine, welcome, Sandrine. Some words about you, Sandrine, for our audience and pictures.
Hello everyone, I'm Sandrine Sommer. I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer at WipeC. WipeC is a wine and spirit activity within the LVMH group. And as we're producing wine, champagne and spirit, we are clearly linked to the earth and promoting, preserving biodiversity and regenerating our soils are our priorities for a long time. And I'm very happy as well to be here for this session.
Thank you, Sandrine. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And Jaime de Antonio from Ship2B Ventures. Some words from you, Antonio.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm Jaime de Antonio. I'm part of the Ship2B Ventures team, mainly focused on one of our 3 investment verticals, which are climate technologies, education technologies, and healthcare technologies. So in this sense, we're focused on startups that are fighting against climate change, trying to improve the quality of vulnerable people, and finally trying to mitigate school failure and unemployment. We are mainly focused on Spain, but also across Europe. So yeah, very, very happy to be here and looking forward to meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much for our jury members and short, brief and clear presentation. Now we will start with the pitch sessions. The first pitch is Sea Boost by Julian Dale. The pitch is focusing in particular on tropical and subtropical environments. So very welcome, Julian. I hope your slides are ready as soon as you see it on the screen. I think that you should unmute yourself, Julian.
I think I did.
Yeah, okay, now we can hear you clearly. So as the timing appears on the screen, you're free to start, and please keep the timing. Okay, 3 minutes is yours.
I do my best. Thank you. So hello, my name is Julian. I'm project manager by Sea Boost, and I would like to talk to you about mangrove today. what is mangrove? It's not the most famous of tropical ecosystems. So 210 million of people are directly depending on mangrove for their food. It's 5 times more performant as tropical rainforest in terms of carbon capture and sequestration. And it's one of the most efficient ecosystems for wave damping and coastline erosion fight. From 60 to 85% of the fishes tropical fishes use it as a nursery ground, no mangrove, no fish, and it's been here for 3.5 billion of years. 35 remaining because we are destroying almost 2% of mangrove each year. So what can we do? Usually we use replantation to restore mangrove, but it has low success rate, and we are not able to fully restore all the ecological functionalities of mangrove with replantation. So replantation is no restoration most of the time. What we propose is quite different. We are focusing on context and not on species. We designed a low-tech device through biomimicry that will reproduce the effects of mangrove roots on the whole system. It's made with local material, with local manpower, and what we want to is to restore the hydrodynamic and sediment condition so that we allow spontaneous mangrove settlement on site. We do not choose the species, we do not choose the places, we just let nature grow by giving it the appropriate conditions. So it is we can reach better restoration success rate, higher recovery speed, better ecological representativeness. We also enhance carbon capture, and most of all, we avoid carbon release because 80% of the carbon is stored in the soil. We create social value through resource production, fishery, aquaculture, empowerment, skills, byproducts like bamboo culture, and also long-term ecosystem services, science, erosion, carbon. And we are compliant with public policies like access to food for coastal communities, and also private ones, environmental engagement, mandatory needs. So it's a large-scale, low-tech, local, and short-term restoration process that focuses on one of the most crucial tropical ecosystems and that can be scaled up everywhere. We are looking for places and funds to launch projects. Thank you.
Thank you.
On time.
On time, perfect. So let's move to next presentation. It is CareMap, and it's going to be presented by Antoine Lefebvre. Antoine?
Okay, it's my turn. I'm trying.
Welcome. So your slides are almost there. Feel relaxed, and we are curious to see your presentation.
No. Sorry, but this is not my presentation. I think I'm the third one.
Sorry, then the schedule, I maybe made mistake, but forgive me if your schedule a little bit changed. But let's continue with Amazonia, Julio Andre Rosso. Then we will continue with CareMap. Sorry. Perfect. Now it's Amazonia, Emprende, Escuela, Bosque by Julio Andres Rosso. Julio, floor is yours.
Perfect. I will ask the team, please, to shift the slides for me, please. Okay?
Okay.
Well, I am Julio Andre Rosso, and I have to say that deforestation is not the problem here in the Amazon rainforest. Deforestation is the consequence. The consequence of what? So we are disconnected, not only as citizens, but also as consumers. And there is no connection between us here in Colombia and our forest. I am 40 years old, and the first time that I came to the rainforest was 4 years ago. Therefore, I had the decision to invest in this terrain. 30 hectares dedicated to the conservation and to the restoration of the rainforest. And Amazonía Emprende is that. It's a forest school, but also a hub of new green businesses in the region that are conserving the forest and restoring the forest. Next. We are losing in Colombia almost 140,000 hectares of forest every year. And which is very critical is that the deforestation is approaching our national parks. Next. Therefore, we started up a business model which supports especially women entrepreneurs in the Amazon rainforest. Next. How does it work? Imagine a woman who has a farm with existing forest and with degraded land. What we do is to enrich her forest by putting business models, different business models like stingless bees, native bees, and we restore the other part of the land by introducing native species of trees, of native products like cocona, arasa, acai, camu camu, which are considered in the international markets as superfoods. Next. Our instruments next are so basically the great support with women. We have a lot of connections with local women. For instance, these associations of women who were violent by men, now they have a business called Amativa. Next. We rescue and protect and multiply bees, stingless bees, which are put in their farms. Next. And we set up mega nurseries so that we can grow the forest species that we need to restore their lands. Next. We are doing it in collaboration with communities and big organizations here in the country, and for scaling up our solutions, we are looking for support, investment support of 450,000 euros for the next 5 years. That's all what I have to say and to share with you here from the Amazon rainforest in Colombia. Thank you very much for the opportunity and welcome everybody to come over to Colombia.
Thank you, Jose. It was really interesting to see a link between green businesses and women entrepreneurs. So now we are moving to CareMap. Antonio, floor is yours.
Okay. Hi everyone. So yeah, I'm Antoine of CareMap, and it's a great pleasure to be here today and to introduce you our new product, Nimbo. So first, let's have a quick look together on the power of satellite images. Satellite images are a unique source to contribute to the support of the SDG information. For example, they can monitor yield and improve market effectiveness. Satellite images can monitor soil moisture, water quality, and contribute to integrated water resources management. They can also map urban growth and also urban segregation. And one of the most known, they can also precisely monitor land degradation like deforestation. But dealing with satellite images remains hard. It's hard to access, hard to process, and hard to analyze. And this has a direct impact on the time you will put to develop your own solution, and also on the cost you will put on it. That's the reason why we created Nimbo. It's the first platform and API that makes Earth observation easy for everyone. Let's talk about technology. Our technology handles complex and recurrent tasks that require high skills and high computation power. And this engine relies on our sovereign cloud. Our API shape the data in order to make it usable to everyone. With our ergonomic platform and our added value products, monitoring Earth is becoming more instinctive. And this technology is delivering our service on a freemium business model to a various panel of users. So we have an ergonomic SaaS platform, products on the shelf, and a scalable solution. Because satellite images acquire homogeneous data everywhere on Earth, we can then produce our solution anywhere on Earth. And here, it's an example of our solution for regenerative agriculture. With Nimbo, you can identify any parcel. It will tell you which kind of crop is currently growing, get historical data about practices, management, get any information to know if the parcel develop biomass and can also capture carbon. And this information is very important for many users. We have at the moment 3 clients on it, like foundation. We are working with Earthworm Foundation, also institutional governmental institution like with Eau de Paris, and also some private companies. We are working with My Easy Farm for their My Easy Carbon product. So our solution is objective, continuous, it's fast, simple, and cost effective. And this is made by CareMap, a 3-year-old company. We are 15 people, including sales, technicians, dev, and engineers. And today we are looking for new use cases and funding to scale our solution. So to sum up, we are ready to take off.
Thank you, Antoine. A few additional seconds were allowed to you for your interesting presentation. Satellite observation in agriculture is really always useful and ongoing tool for improvement and sustainable agriculture and food production. Interesting subject. Now we will move to our next presentation by Alicia Sherenant. I hope I pronounced that properly, or at least.
Yeah.
Hi, Alicia. Very welcome to our session. Your presentation is called Artificial Intelligence, I believe. AA is Artificial Intelligence abbreviation. So, in your case, this is a question, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just to clarify the title of the presentation. So I think the slides are ready from our technical part, and as you see the timing and your slides, you can start with the presentation.
Since the clicker doesn't work, I will just ask you to change the slides, please.
But then you can change the slides. Okay.
Nature is the ground for our existence. Nature gives us food security, water, clean air, energy, and health. But often we forget about the limits of natural ecosystems, and we end up next. Well, can you find us? Yes, here we are on the left-hand side of the ocean. And while we are taking care of this crisis, we tend to forget about the big picture. Next. In its 2021 report, the World Economic Forum reminds us about it, the biggest risks for humanity being environmental risks and their consequences. We entrepreneurs must work on preventing ecosystem and ecological collapses. And as we know from the COVID crisis, good risk management requires anticipation and data. Next. Fold AI aims at answering the following question. Consider us all ecosystem managers, being farmers, foresters, conservation officers, investors, or decision makers. Where can we fairly operate without overshooting planetary boundaries? What's the playground and how to quantify it? We must protect ecosystem functions by scaling its systematic observation for better understanding and transparency. Next. This is where we come in with our ecosystem services quantification tool. At Fold AI, we apply IoT and AI to natural ecosystems to maintain biodiversity and restore climate. Our data science team contributes to the tool chain of all those who are managing our precious common resources. Next. Our data-driven approach facilitates close-to-nature forestry. Next. But also regenerative agriculture and next, green urban planning. Next slide, please. Next. We built an ecosystem intelligence platform, and at its core, our field lab, a solar-powered smart sensor node that gathers information on microclimate, ecosystem health, resilience, biodiversity, and soil. Next. All this is gathered directly from the field, and this information is put together with other sources like manual reporting, satellite data, and then sent to our cloud where it is further analyzed. Next. The relevant events are notified to managers and decision makers instantaneously, and indicators are communicated by dashboards, which makes it very actionable. Next. Here we are. Let's connect during the next days to make a positive change in the world together. Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Now we are immediately moving to WipeC to be presented by Gwenyal Duclos. I hope the slides are ready. We are a little bit short of time. Gwenyal, is she with us? He, sorry. WipeC, slides. So you can start. You are muted.
Good morning. I am Gwenyal Duclos, founder and CEO of WipeC. WipeC performs environmental impact digital surveys thanks to AI. So next. We are committed to a dream that human lives in harmony with wildlife. Next. So we help offshore wind farms and marine protected area managers to map marine megafauna and human activities. We use aerial digital images and our expertise in deep learning techniques to do so. Next. So what problem do we solve? To be able to recognize marine megafauna species, aerial surveys are done at low altitude by observers on board a plane. It's dangerous and expensive, and it will be forbidden in wind farms. Next. Our solution is based on the use of aerial images taken with a high-resolution camera. Next. Because visual inspections of these photos is very fastidious, WipeC is providing a software solution to automatically detect and classify the species. Next. And to be able to provide advices to our customers, CoreAbyss is producing maps on abundance estimation. Next. So how do we go to the market? By responding to call for tenders and also by using collaborative projects to do R&D and be always innovative. Next. We forecast to reach a turnover of 2.7 million euro in 2026. Next. World offshore wind farm market is highly growing all over the world. Next. And also in Europe. Next. So we plan to have our first European market customer in 2024. Next. Our competitors are less innovative and affordable than us. Next. And we are at the moment 4 engineers highly motivated and committed to this project. Next. And we need 500,000 euro now to be able to hire a business developer to address the market in Europe for offshore wind farms and also all over the world for MPAs. And we will use it also to manage all the growth of the company. Next. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you will join us in our collaborative project in order to reach a possible harmony between humans and marine megafauna.
Thank you, Guanyal. Thank you very much, and thank you for all presentation. It was really a lot of interesting solution presented. So we have 5 minutes till end of the session, so we can put some questions from jury to our participant, maybe 2 or 3 questions, but really brief and concise questions can be put on the floor. Who is going to first? Who is going to ask first?
If I can.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question for Julian. I would like to know the costs of your solution.
The cost is really depending on the local involvement in the project. As it's thought and designed to be fully transferred to local communities, the cost will be the traditional cost of a study of a few thousand euros. If they are able to get empowered in the manufacturing and deployment, they will support on voluntary basis all the cost. So it can vary from a few thousand euro per hectare to more if we need to deploy work means. I try to make it short.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Short and brief. Another question from jury to our presenters.
Yes, I have one, please. For Alicia, biodiversity quantification sounds so broad and of course important, but I was wondering how many species of plants and animals are you talking about, and how does this influence in your scalability?
The biodiversity indicators we use can be very precise when we, for example, train an algorithm to the detection of a specific species, which we do for very important species like animals that have an impact on the entire ecosystem. But it can also be biodiversity indicators in the sense that we measure the quantity of different species, so the diversity of birds, for example, and we can map it and compare land spaces and see where there is more biodiversity. We use a bioacoustic sensor for that, so if it maybe answered the question better.
Mm-hmm. So thank you, and with this last answer we will end this session, but you are invited to join the networking in the virtual room, and believe you will have space and time to discuss further during your networking. So this session is over now, and have a nice day with ChangeNOW events. Thanks again for your really nice and fully engaged participation in this pitch session. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.